Coming up on show 853, the very first European Polestar 2 customer car deliveries have begun in Sweden. And I've got the details. Stick around, I'll tell you more. Plus, on the podcast today, we look back at how the first half of the year of sales have gone for electric vehicles. WM Motor in China have got 3 new models coming. GM update us on their progress with their battery cell factory, and details on GMC's Hummer EV and how brutally fast that thing could well be. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're listening in the world. Welcome to EV News Daily for what happened on Thursday, 30th of July. My name is Martyn Lee, and I go through every EV story, so you don't have to. Congratulations to the very first owners of the Polestar 2. Deliveries are now underway in Europe and China, North America following soon. At the global headquarters of Polestar at Gothenburg in Sweden, the very first one was handed over. And congratulations to those people who are the first to get their Polestar 2. The first customer was a chap called Sture, or S-T-U-R-E, Sture Stenson. And I quote, "I ordered my Polestar 2 on launch day. This is my first electric vehicle, and I've mounted solar panels on my roof for easy charging at home. I've read all the great reviews in the papers and online and picked up many new cars throughout the years, but this is the greatest moment so far." Some lovely pictures online that Polestar took of him doing the handover process, and looks like a Polestar, I don't know, a Polestar expert? Whatever they call them. I'm sure there's a brand name for them. Anyway, the person that works for Polestar taking them through things like the infotainment screen and all that kind of stuff. Some really, just some nice pictures. Always a nice day when a new EV launches and customers get their very first one. Polestar 2 is made in China, by the way. Production started back in March of earlier this year. The head of Polestar, the CEO, is a chap called Thomas Ingeleth. Now, he said recently, and I quote, "I'm extremely proud of the entire team to have overcome production and logistics challenges because of the global pandemic, and to be able to bring this product to our customers when we said we would is a huge achievement. The press reaction has been incredible, and we are building real momentum behind Polestar 2, end quote. What do you make of the Polestar 2? I'm super interested, very, very happy that customers have now got their car, but there's a couple of things that are outstanding on it. Firstly, I'd like to play myself with the software, because it's running on Android. I'm not saying like Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, where your phone connects to the car and all that kind of stuff. Like, the car physically works on Android. It's a step up. They're working very closely with Google, and it's something that I'd like to play with first before I put down £50,000 on a car. Now, the range target is 275 miles for the Polestar 2. That's 442 kilometres, or 470 on the EPA range. WLTP. EPA was the first one I was talking about. Pouch cells in the battery. They've gone with pouch cells, and it's a liquid-cooled, of course, very high-spec car. You'd expect it to be for 50 grand. 78 kilowatt-hour battery. 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds. It's all-wheel drive. Obviously, very safe, being Swedish, being a Volvo. It's not a Volvo, but don't call it a Volvo. 150 kilowatts of fast charging capability, and it's built on the Volvo CMA platform. Don't call it a Volvo, it's a Polestar. What do you think of this car? Would you buy one? I tell you what holds me back. All machines go wrong. It's a fact of life. I mean, they can build the car as nice as they want. I mean, they can build an incredible car. And by the looks of the pictures, they really have. And the YouTube reviews as well. I mean, the Polestar 2 looks fantastic. I've never seen Polestar 2. I've had some experience of the Polestar 1, which is a beast. But if you can put it together, if it's a machine, it has the potential to go wrong. So when it does, what do you do with it? You can't go back to Volvo. There's a Volvo dealership near me, but they won't look at it. So where does it go? Does it go to a Polestar Space? Oh, that's interesting. Polestar Spaces are going to be dotted around the place, but I don't know where my nearest one is. It's just one of those things that plays on my mind. I say the same thing about Tesla, and then Tesla fans, I won't call them fanboys, email me and go, oh, but Tesla range a service and they'll come to you and don't worry about it, just go and buy one. Yeah, the nearest Tesla service centres to me are either Bristol or London, and I'm 2 hours away from both, and that's the closest one. Whereas the Renault that I own, the Zoe, the dealer's about 15 minutes down the road. If the car needs to go on the back of a lorry and for whatever reason, go back to the dealer. Anyway, that's my only question. A couple of questions, I suppose. Software's interesting. Look, the battery pack is going to be all you need. 80 kilowatt hours, about the right ballpark for a premium executive luxury car. The inside's looking nice. The styling is sharp, very on point right now. I'm loving Polestar's styling. Let's talk about European battery electric sales in the first half of the year. What's done very well? Well, the Renault Zoe's done very well. And the Tesla Model 3. Pedro at Push EVs has a look at the story. The first half of the year in Europe was pretty peculiar. COVID lockdowns and the combustion engine sales dropping just off a cliff. But EV sales, well, actually not doing too badly. As expected, Volkswagen started the year strongly with the e-Golf on sale. The Volkswagen realising it wouldn't need to sell the triplets of cars anymore. The Seat, the Skoda and the Volkswagen E-Up. So they don't need to sell those anymore to hit their targets of the emissions target. So those have pretty much dried up, really. If you want to get hold of one, then good luck. Let me know how you go. The top 10 battery electric sales in Europe in the very first half of the year. Volkswagen E-Up in 10th place. We'll do it in reverse order, like it's a countdown chart. 9 BMW i3, 8 Kia e-Niro, 7 Kona Electric, 6 Nissan Leaf, 5 Peugeot E208, a car that was only on sale this year, I know, good day. 4 Audi e-tron, 3 Volkswagen e-Golf, 2 Tesla Model 3, and way out in the lead, number 1 Renault Zoe. Big French sales for the Renault Zoe. They do love their domestic car there in France, and why not? I own one myself. It's a jolly lovely car. So congratulations to all of those models that have been sold. Now, I know what you're thinking. Did he just say Nissan Leaf was only in the 6th place? Yeah, I did say that. We'll see how this year pans out for Nissan with the Leaf. It urgently needs thermal management on the battery, faster charging, and that won't be coming. What we'll have to wait for is the Nissan Ariya, which will be not replacing the Leaf so much. It's a different segment car, really. It's a bit bigger. But I don't think they're going to be updating the Leaf anytime soon to an onboard 22 kilowatt charger for those that can access three-phase charging. Let's crack on with the news and let's talk about WM Motor, Weltmeister. WM Motor in China plans 3 new models before the end of 2021. The Chinese electric car maker WM Motor is planning a rapid expansion of their model range. According to Chinese media, 2 new pure electric SUVs and 1 pure electric sedan planned for the second half of 2020. Next year. Says electrive.com, a 6-seater SUV is to start in the third quarter of this year, and will be followed in the first half of 2021 by another SUV and then an electric sedan. With these models, WM Motor is more than doubling its range of products. WM Motor, a company that we've talked about a fair bit on this podcast. One of the Chinese makers that actually has their own factory, and it's a big deal. It's an important thing as well. Let's talk about GM on the way next, sharing progress on their new battery cell factory. An update on progress of their battery cell factory. The December 2019 announcement that GM would make their own cells in partnership with LG Chem in Lordstown, Ohio. The project is the Ultium Batteries, and the company that's making it is called it's a separate project, Ultium Cells LLC. They'll make 30 gigawatt hours of flexibility for expansion, they say, making it a gigafactory. A term popularised by Tesla, and everyone seems to have latched onto that. GM say today marks the beginning of steel construction at the all-new Ultium Cells battery cell manufacturing facility in Lordstown. Ultium Cells is a joint venture that will mass-produce the battery cells for electric vehicles and create 1,100 new jobs in northeast Ohio. Well, since May earlier this year, when ground was broken and concrete footings went in, steel construction has continued and will continue in into fall 2020. Wow, 30 gigawatt hours a year is a big old gigafactory to be producing cells for the GM cars. And we'll talk a little bit about Hummer on the way on the podcast a little bit later. But first of all, let's go to China, where China is crushing the USA in electric bus growth. And Proterra says they want to change that, according to Evanex, writing for Clean Technica. When it comes to electric vehicles, passenger cars grab the headlines, especially the glamorous ones that are coming from a certain Californian company. But recently, more and more people are talking about electric mass transit as having a really big impact on the air that we breathe. Now, a recent video from Bloomberg Green, an interview with Ryan Popple, who is Proterra's co-founder and executive director, says that in a first-hand view of how they are doing, that after many pilots in many cities around the world, transit agencies in the US and Europe are now starting to place substantial orders for electric buses. But as usual, we're behind the curve. China has 420,000 e-buses in operation. You didn't miss what I just said, 420,000 e-buses in operation. In Europe, we've got 2,000. It's a little bit embarrassing. The US has 600. We need to change it and change it quickly. Proterra say that they are the ones that can do it. BYD in the US would have a strong case to argue against them. Proterra has sold over 900 buses to transit agencies in the US and Canada, and big plans for the future as well. I like what Proterra are doing with their all-electric buses. Definitely a company to watch and to follow very closely. Well, the Swedish battery maker Northvolt, making cells in Sweden, they've just raised $1.6 billion in debt financing, and they said yesterday actually it was, that they'd secured this financing as part of their plan to have a quarter of the market share of the European battery cell production. Last year, Volkswagen and BMW both agreed to fund Northvolt's plan to build a European gigafactory, the largest lithium-ion battery factory in Europe. And now lithium-ion batteries are a key for electric cars. Obviously, things like smartphones and laptop batteries as well, but particularly for electric cars. Northvolt says they aim to be Europe's main rival for the Asian players, CATL and Samsung and LG Chem as well. With big new investment in Europe, many of the European car manufacturers will want those cells made on their doorstep. Well, Fox News has a look at the GMC Hummer, and the new Hummer EV will be announced this autumn, and it's coming with crab mode. But what exactly do you get when you get crabs from GMC? Well, let's find out. On paper, it sounds like it could be a heck of a super truck from Hummer. Pure battery electric, 350 kilowatt charge speed. It's going to have an 800 volt system, you see. And so that's the theoretical speed. I mean, it might not go that fast from the beginning, but we'll see. 800 volt system, 0 to 60, 3 seconds. That's right. It's a Hummer in 3 seconds. What originated from the Humvee? 3 seconds. It just doesn't sound right, does it? It's such a massive slab of car to get your heart racing. But we want to know what crab mode's all about. GMC hasn't elaborated. What do you reckon crab mode could be? Could it be that it has front and rear wheel steering, and that when you're doing off-roading it will move sideways? Possibly. We've seen tank turns from the Rivian. I don't know possibly what crab mode could be apart from. And the only thing I can assume is that the rear axle also has the ability to turn, a bit like the old... Wasn't there a Honda in the 80s or 90s? Was it the Prelude that he'd been growing up and reading car magazines about four-wheel steering Hondas? I think it was the Prelude anyway. So I'm sure they're not the only ones. So could it be that there is an electric motor connected to the rear diff on the rear axle with some sort of rack and pinion assembly that does steering? I don't know. I'm looking forward to finding out. Dead exciting, isn't it? What with the Hummer and the Rivian and the Tesla Cybertruck. Interesting to see how the truck market pans out, but it looks like GM could be the only ones that you can get crab mode from. Next, Elon Musk is talking about supplying software, powertrains and batteries to other car makers in a tweet in a reply to a chap called Jason. It says, no one can ever have our top secret fart technology, but they can have everything else. Elon Musk saying that if anybody else wants to use their powertrains, their batteries, their software, other car makers are welcome to, I'm sure at the right price, because Tesla are all about moving the world to clean air and that transition to electric transport. This is, I'm a massive Tesla fan, as I get my regular emails from people saying, you talk about Tesla too much, you're a blatant fanboy. Yeah, I don't think I am, but I will call them out on this one. That is pure PR from a very clever, or just a bored. That's a bored Elon on Twitter. Or maybe he's just doing some positive PR. There is no chance ever that Tesla will supply batteries and software and powertrains to other car makers. They did at the start with an association with Toyota and also Daimler for the smart car. And the RAV4 as well. But no, there is no way that Tesla are going to give up batteries to give to somebody else. Tesla have said multiple times over the last couple of years they are battery constrained. They would like to make the semi-truck now, but they have no batteries. They would like to make more cars now, but they have no batteries. They have plenty of batteries, I should say. They want more batteries. The idea of selling them on to another car maker who then adds their own markup and sells them to the consumer, it's just crazy to think about. And as for Tesla's software, it's so closely integrated with the car itself. I can't see anybody else using that at all. The powertrains, well, maybe motors, possibly inverters and stuff like that. This is just Elon getting good PR for the company. Because the bigger you get, the more you become, one of the big established players. And obviously Tesla is bigger than every other car maker now. It's easy to be one of the big boys and to lose touch with, the fans on the ground. It does Elon no harm to tweet out, oh, we'd love to help out other car makers. They just don't want it. But we'd give them the batteries if only they asked. Yeah. Even if they asked, the answer would be no. It's a bit like when Tesla made all of that big fuss about all of their stuff being open for other people to use and publicly available patents and all that kind of stuff. Look, it all sounds nice, doesn't it, on Twitter? But there is no way that it's too complicated as well. Like just the software and the powertrain, it's just too integrated. Tesla have done too much of a good job of making it all work as one. Selling it to somebody else, nah, ain't happening. Alexa. So I do have one in here, actually, that I forget that she sits there on my desk. But you can now say, Alexa, charge my car.
You have electrify.com enabled.
Nah, whatever. So Skoda is introducing remote electric vehicle charging via Amazon Electra. The Alexa, even. The drivers of the future, all-electric cars. She's still going. All right, stop. Stop. I think she stopped. Drivers of Skoda's all-electric future electric cars can now use to start and stop charging remotely and check on the remaining charge of your car from the comfort of your own home. If your car sits outside your house, getting off your backside and looking at the dashboard or even an app on your phone is so last week. Now you can ask to do it for you. Good news, more tech integration with our EVs. You know what? I'm so wedded to I won't say her name, and also Siri as well, but mostly Alexa. Oh no, I said it. I think we have one in just about every room of the house. I think even the kids' room. The little bloke has got one in there because we play him white noise at bedtime. Don't ask. However, it does help him sleep, I must admit. I think there's no Alexa in the bathroom. But apart from that, fully integrated into our lives. The more that we can use that technology to talk about our cars, the better. Finally, earlier this week, Pacific Gas and electric company PG&E in the US and Tesla began construction of a 183 megawatt lithium-ion battery energy storage system at their Moss Landing site in Monterey County, says Tasmanian. The system is designed, built and maintained by PG&E and Tesla, and the goal of the system, launching in early 2021 and fully operational later next year, will be to basically as a substation system, the world's largest lithium-ion battery energy storage system to help out the grid. It will save more than $100 million over a 20-year lifespan, and it will consist of 256 megapack units on 33 different concrete slabs. This thing is absolutely huge. 730 megawatt hours of energy at its disposal from a 182.5 megawatt battery pack system. Quite fancy that in my garage. Anyway, that's your show for today. Thank you for listening. If you want to leave a comment, you can do on the email address hello@evnewsdaily.com, or leave a comment on the YouTube show. Well, there are 852 previous shows online for free. Thank you to our premium partners, Phil Roberts of Electric Future, EF.Energy. If you're interested, Brad Crosby, Avid Technology, Brightsmith Group, Porsche of the Village in Cincinnati, Audi of Cincinnati East, Volvo Cars of Cincinnati East, and now nationalcarcharging.com and allohacharge.com. As of the 1st of August, another name to add to the list, which is exciting. Have a wonderful day. I'll catch you tomorrow. And remember, there's no such thing as a self-charging hybrid.